Do you want to see my fast presentation? Do you want to see it again? Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kurt Mantonya. I'm with the Heartland Center for Leadership Development out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Yes, I am a K-Stater, a K-State alumni. Got to give some props to K-State. It is a dirty word in Lincoln, Nebraska, trust me. But I struggle through it. Is what I'd like to talk about today. We started doing webinars about 3 years ago. We do a lot of rural and community economic development work, help communities establish leadership development programs, do community assessment work, ethnography, the list goes on and on. We do annual institutes, and one of those is called Helping Small Towns Succeed, and we have this throughout the nation. We invite people from all over, but we were finding in this recession that people just didn't have the money in their budgets to be able to come to do these. So we came up with an aha moment. Webinars. Well, we started researching all the different platforms and finally came up with a platform, and then we started advertising for them, and we tried to figure out ways to further market this message. And as we went along, we came up with these different tips that we've learned just from online sources, but from stuff that we've done and we've plowed through on our own. So with that, I'd like to go ahead, and I was the only one who apparently didn't read Becky's email about PowerPoints. So I'd like to ask somebody in the audience, when I say next slide, go ahead and advance the next slide for me. I did post, if you go to heartlandleadership.blogspot.com, you will see the PowerPoint presentation there. And I also put it on the 140 conference hashtag. So if you'd like to follow along that way, that'd be great. So our first tip, access and use multiple social networking sites. Yeah, I think we all do that. Several platforms to choose from. We all use Twitter, we always use Facebook. The list goes on and on. Be sure that you're using all those media that are out there. I know we've heard earlier about it takes time to do this. The time is definitely worth the commitment when it comes to getting your message out. Cross-promote your message is number 2. You know, a lot of places you'll see a little share button, and if you click on that, then you get a drop-down menu of about 200 or 300 different social media sites to use. Click on it and use every one of those. Another one. Who keeps a personal profile and a professional profile, like on Facebook? Okay? I tried both. I failed at the professional one because I just didn't visit it as much. You know, you got to be cognizant of what kind of content you're putting on there. Am I going to go beer drinking and fishing with my buddies? Is that going to offend the people that are on my professional side of the world? That's a judgment call that you've got to make. And I've decided to get rid of the professional profile and just keep my personal profile. You have a site, use it. I had found that I was managing not only a personal blog, but also a blog for the center, a community capitals framework blog, and it just became too time consuming. But I just had to dedicate the time to put the information in there. So if you have a site, use it. You're reaching out to your audience, you're marketing your message, you're sending your message, get the information out there. Add pictures. People love to see pictures, and refresh those pictures as often as you can. Your community blog and other social media should be welcoming. Adding pictures will help draw interest from potential newcomers. We do a lot with people attraction efforts, trying to get rid of the message of, well, you all heard I'm from West Mineral, Kansas, right? I heard the message growing up, get your education, get out of here, and don't ever come back. And when I go back home, I scold those people, because that's where I'd like to raise my family at. So we need to invest in our youth and turn those messages around. Data, hyperlink, hyperlink. When you're creating a site, get all this information on there, because if you are looking to attract young adults, newcomers to a community, what's the very first place that they're going to go to find information? Google. And they're going to come to a community website. And when they come to that community website, what information are they going to be looking for? Number 1. It's a question. Guess. Schools. They're going to find out about schools and then employment opportunities. Churches. So make sure all that information is getting on your website. The next one, incorporate your newsletters into your social media, and incorporate your social media into your newsletters. This was a big one that we learned about. Our center, Heartland Center, we used to publish a quarterly newsletter called Visions from the Heartland. That newsletter cost us $10,000 a year to produce. We went with Constant Contact, Costs us about $600 a year. Constant Contact is a beautiful mechanism for getting your message out because it interacts with all the different social media. It sends out to people on all sorts of different lists. You can send it to a friend who may not subscribe to my list, and they can add to our list. The database takes care of itself. It's a wonderful tool. The eighth one, I told you I'd get through this, Becky. Use social media sites for more than just posting information. We use Facebook a lot to ask questions. You know, what brought you back home? What brought you to a rural community? So use it for more than marketing a message, but getting message back. And once you get that feedback back, you can turn that into another question to ask. And then the last one is, make sure you're listening to your followers. You post your content weekly, but you're going back from time to time to make sure you're getting any response. So, you know, if you do blog, or if you do put up a Facebook question, make sure that you go back there and talk to those folks online, because if you don't, you're going to lose their interest. Now, I'd like to wrap up, and I was hoping to have a little bit of time to do this. That's why I buzzed through all this so quickly. During a dinner last night and at the Cosmosphere, we heard a lot of discussion about rural-urban differences. And I was very fortunate several years ago to be a part of this big rural-urban-suburban initiative, where we got to go through and ask people through town hall meetings about rural, urban, and suburban differences. And I just wanted to share with you what those are. The big concerns in rural communities are loss of local control of capital, and that could be financial capital, human capital, social capital. In urban areas, the number one issue is lack of access to capital, social capital, financial capital, human capital. The second issue in rural communities, loss of loss of sense of community. And in urban areas, the need to strengthen citizenship. The next one, education. And on the urban side, education. Access to support programs, and in urban areas, lack of support services. So we came to find out that even though urban areas and rural areas are different places, they have the same concerns. They are very concerned about their safety of their families. They're very concerned about education. They're concerned about how they're going to live. And then in all this urban-rural stuff, I jumped back on the census. I'd looked this up a while back, and I had noticed that there are 5 counties in western Kansas and 7 counties in western Kansas and 5 in Nebraska that actually grew in population. And these are ag-dependent counties. So whatever we're doing in rural America, let's keep it up. Valley County in Nebraska, one that we work with a lot, kind of central Nebraska, the Nebraska Sandhills kind of start right there. Perennially, or decennially, they had lost 10%. And this past census, they've arrested it down to 6%. And that's a huge, huge indicator for what our rural communities are doing. So whatever it is, keep it up. Thank you very much.